Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. It continues, friends. This long-standing saga, this series that I've been producing on this channel for years at this point, the series titled, Democrats Really Can't Go Anywhere. You know, again, going back to the point that I always mention, supposedly Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are just so popular. He's not just a Democrat, is not just a politician, but is also a celebrity, according to the media. They're just such incredible people that get praise everywhere they go, right? That's kind of how it's set up in the media. You know, Kamala Harris shows up on a show and it's the oohs and ahs. They try to prop up all these Democrat politicians and party leaders as if they're just so special. I mean, just look at the way the media treats the Obamas, as if they're gods walking the earth. It's the cringiest, weirdest crap. The reality is that regular people don't buy it. These Democrat politicians aren't the celebrities the media paints them out to be, and for the most part, they're deeply unpopular people who get booed into oblivion essentially everywhere they go, outside of the hyper-partisan blue anon people, the elitists who support the Democrat Party, and the dependent folk who are just voting for free handouts. Regular people don't want anything to do with these Democrats, and that fact proves itself time and time again. And once again here, as Tim Walz shows up on a campaign stop, only to get booed into oblivion, or totally unrecognized, while at the same time Trump shows up at an Alabama game, and his mere presence on the Jumbotron sends the crowd into wild roars. The contrast could not be more clear. These Democrats are not nearly as popular as the media paints them out to be, especially not with regular people. Let's have a conversation about that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so without further ado, take a look at this. Tim Walz gets absolutely ruined as his motorcade pulls in. The people in the crowd even going as far as yelling, "Tampon Tim." In other words, an utter embarrassment. I think Tim Walz was hoping for a standing ovation. He was hoping to be the center of attention. Time and time again, these Democrats look out of place in these situations. You know, Tim Walz likes to play this Minnesota character. Tim Walz is just a regular working class guy. He drives a truck and wears a baseball cap and talks crap about people who go to Ivy League schools. But it's all just a frickin' act. Tim Walz, working class, give me a break. I can't picture little Timmy working a construction job. Poor guy would break a nail. Meanwhile, and honestly, ironically enough, Donald Trump, the billionaire who craps on a golden toilet bowl, is incredibly popular with regular working class people. Regular, hard-working folk don't want anything to do with these elitist, out-of-touch Democrats anymore. And it's no secret that Donald Trump's popularity among everyday Americans is soaring. From farmers to construction workers, small business owners to truck drivers, Trump's amassed a groundswell of support that totally defies traditional political analysis. And that's why when Trump shows up at these events, well, it's a different headline now, isn't it? They absolutely love him because Trump's the first politician in their lifetime to actually speak to these people. Democrats talk a big game, they talk, but they never walk the talk. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, I mean, he just speaks our language. I mean, the biggest thing that people love about Trump is that he doesn't sound like a politician. He talks like the guys at the bar after a long day's work, or the guys you'd be having a beer with at the barbecue. He doesn't sugarcoat things. He's raw and unapologetic. He's real. He's got a blunt style that appeals to people who are tired of the polished, rehearsed sound bites from career politicians like Kamala Harris and even Tim Walz. And no amount of wearing camo cargo pants and Carhartt jackets will change that, because on one side it's genuine and on the other side it's as fake as it gets. Kamala Harris adopts these fake identities in order to appeal with people, and so does Tim Walz. She's the fake down with the culture politician, and Tim Walz is the fake working class politician. They're both frickin' actors, and I think people can see right through it. But with Donald Trump but feels authentic. In fact, it feels so authentic that, like I said earlier, they're willing to overlook the fact that Donald Trump obviously isn't the type to really get into physical labor, and he craps on a golden toilet bowl. That's how freaking real the relationship is. You know, the way I see it is the Democrats have simply lost the working class. They've lost regular people, and now they're even losing union members, and they're trying desperately to get them back. And that's the whole point of Tim Walz. That is literally the entire point. And that's why they're sending him to football games, but it just isn't working. The new reality, whether Democrats want to accept it or not, is that they are now seen as the party of the elites. The Democrat Party is increasingly becoming a haven for coastal elites, Hollywood stars, academics, you know, the types of people who are far removed from the daily struggles of middle America. You know, actually, I think this clip from Bill Maher's show is really going to encapsulate what I'm talking about. This is the Democrat Party.
What are your thoughts on Kamala's trip to the border? Will that help her close the gap with Trump in Arizona? I don't think she needs Arizona. I mean...
I don't think anyone needs Arizona. I would stay in Arizona with Putin. Here, take Arizona, leave Ukraine alone.
Fran, you're wearing cowboy boots. I mean, come on. You're even kind of showing some of the local...
And also, you're going to... I read your plugs. You're going to Nashville, right?
Is that in Arizona?
No, but it's... No, but it's a red state. I mean, you don't want to insult all the red states. You go there.
I go there, and I usually say, really, Nashville? That's what I said.
But there are plenty of intelligent people in Nashville and in Arizona. They come out to see you.
Not plenty.
The Democrat Party is the party that came up with the, quote, basket of deplorables, referring to working class people who were looking for something new, a change to the status quo, looking down from their ivory towers and wagging their fingers. And that's why these Democrat politicians struggle to campaign in these environments. That's why they're so desperate on these extreme narratives. Actually, speaking of Hillary Clinton, here's a clip of Hillary Clinton pretty much making the point.
The press needs a consistent narrative. I mean, the press that's not supporting Trump blatantly, very persistently, the press that's trying to be the press, be objective, be, reporting the facts, the press needs a consistent narrative about the danger that Trump poses.
They can't run on policy anymore. They can't run on we're the party for the working class anymore. And so they run on this crap, setting a consistent narrative that Donald Trump is a danger. It's absolutely pathetic. They've completely lost their connection with regular people. And meanwhile, like I keep saying on the other side, Trump continues to be a champion of regular people who feel as though they're not represented in Washington and who want to change to the status quo. And now all of this, everything I've said, plus the clips that I've showed you, all of this to point to one thing. And that's my belief that I think Trump could once again very well pull off another upset victory in the 2024 general election. The enthusiasm and the energy behind him is undeniable. From working class whites to Hispanics. I mean, just look at this clip that just released.
We see every 4 years the Latino vote becomes a bigger and bigger share of the overall electorate. Well, among Latinos, our poll shows Kamala Harris leading Donald Trump 54 to 40%. Now, for some context, this is a little bit better for Democrats than they were doing among Hispanics when Joe Biden was their candidate. But I think the bigger story here is historically, 54 to 40 now is a 14-point advantage for the Democrats. Take a look back at the last 3 presidential elections, and these were the results in the exit polls among Hispanic voters. That 14, look at that cut there, almost 20 points less than just 4 years ago. And 4 years ago, we were saying Donald Trump had made inroads with Hispanic voters. This suggests that that has continued apace.
It's undeniable that Trump is building a coalition of voters, of regular working class people who have just had enough. Trump's building a coalition that spans across racial and class lines, something the Democrats simply aren't doing right now. The media, the Democratic elite, and even some of the Republican establishment may continue to underestimate Trump, but I'd say underestimate him at your own peril. 2 words: voter enthusiasm. It's obvious that there's a whole lot of it in the Trump camp, and well, not so much for the J.D. Vances and Kamala Harrises of the world. I mean, it's not even close. It's regular people versus the coastal elite and the establishment types, and those who buy their snake oil. And that dynamic, I think, was visualized here. I think it's quite clear. At least, that's my interpretation. That's also what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.